get a piece. So we are going to continue our discussion about the 4 qualities and the tastes of herbal medicine. For this outdoor classroom, our second outdoor classroom for Herb 1000. And I wanted to start with a rose. And here are rose hips. And you can see it's fall. We have the goldenrod, Solidago canadensis. We have yellow dock here. We have smooth sumac with its red sumac berries. The rose family is a large family of plants that all have similar properties to them. And the taste of rose is sour, which means it's cooling, and it has an astringent action, so it's drying and tightening. And it's such a beautiful, mellow action. Rose hips are where the seeds are, and these are really sour. And this is the perfect time to harvest them. And inside the seeds are the little itty bitty furry seeds of these roses here. And it's all furry in there. And people dry the rose hips. It's a good time to harvest. Rose hips because there's no worms in them, and you want to kind of check for that. Some people wait until after the frost, but I find more worms in that. So usually when I am harvesting rose hips, I open one and look to see if there's anything living and if they're rotting or things like that, and then I harvest the rest of them, and you can dry them. This rose hips are high in vitamin C. Vitamin C protects us from illness. It has this isn't really that sour. This is wild rose, but they're beautiful in a tea, and it's wonderful to find hips. These can also be made into a rose jelly. You can add rose petals to it. They're high in pectin and vitamin C, so the jelly can harden. And rose hips and rose jelly was one of the favorite plants of Avicenna, the Prince of Islamic medicine. And there's so many things about roses, and he was the one that developed the essential oils and using rose flowers as an essential oil, and he distilled the rose petals down and then ended up with a rose hydrosol and a rose essential oil. The essential oil works really well, but they would sell it off for perfumes actually, or use it in massage. But the rose hydrosol from the flowers, the rose water as they call it, was used in Persian cuisine, but also used for the eyes, and it was used for conjunctivitis or pink eye, and styes and things like that as a wash for the eyes, and it works amazing and really quick against pink eye. So if that's ever an issue, try rose water, and just the goopy eyes of young children. And what we use these cool and drying herbs for, or formulas, is for hot, damp conditions. And children, again, often tend towards that. But pink eye would be a hot, damp condition because it's painful and it creates all this pus and makes the eyes water. And rose is the perfect remedy for that. But find some rose hips and dry them, and see if you can't try some out in tea when they're all dried out. Herb that is all brought over from Europe on the Mayflower, which wasn't on the North American continent prior to colonization, as far as we know, is this one that you're probably really familiar with because it's in everyone's lawn unless someone has a sprayed lawn. So here we have its other friend that came on the Mayflower, dandelion, and plantain. And plantain sends up these little shoots, and kids love to take them and shoot off the seeds. we talked about roses being astringent. Now, plantain is also astringent and it's considered a drying herb. But there's another level of the drying that happens with dandelion, here I'm looking at dandelion and talking about plantain. There is another level of drying action that happens with plantain, and plantain heals the skin by pulling things out. And so it's a drying agent, which is like another level of drying. So if I chew up plantain, let's say I have a sliver, I just chew up a bunch of leaves, it has kind of a spinach-like taste. If I put this on a sliver, whoops, where it went? If I put this on a sliver and then put a Band-Aid over it, or a bee sting, or any type of infection, plantain will actually pull out the infection as a drying agent. And that is another level of dry herb or astringent herb. It also has allotonin in it that will heal the skin. And what I found too is that plantain also pulls out bacteria and infection with everything else, or poisons from a spider bite. But it has a very powerful drying agent. And so just think about it. If there's anything in the skin that is stuck in there, plantain will pull it out. And the taste has an astringent quality, but it's also full of minerals, so like a spinach taste. It isn't edible. It's high in vitamins A, C, and E, and everything that you need to have healthy cells and healthy skin. So it has all of those other things to it, but it doesn't have a very marked taste. It also is good for a tooth abscess, and you can take plantain and shove it in the back of the mouth to pull infection out of the teeth as well. So just a fantastic first aid herb, and it grows everywhere. It's a good one to know. It's one of the herbs I taught my kids first, so if they have a bee sting, but just thinking about it as a drying agent. So here we have lemon balm, and if you cut it throughout the year like I do, for drying or tincturing or glycerites, you won't have it in seed at this time of year, and you can harvest it again before October. And this is the lemon balm, Melissa officinalis. And if we look closely, it's maybe hard to get close on this one, we see the square stem, which shows us that it's in the Lamiaceae family, which is the mint family. And the mints have volatile oils on the leaf. And the volatile oils of lemon balm taste very lemony. And if you come to my yard for the outdoor classroom, you will find that to be true. And again, the taste of lemon balm is a bit of a sour taste because of that lemon. But the mint family with the volatile oils is, my taste buds aren't actually tasting it, it's actually my nose that's smelling it when I put it in my mouth. So if I had a stuffy nose, I might not be able to I wouldn't have as strong of a taste. Lemon balm is cooling. I think we did this one last week, so just remember that taste of lemon and lemon balm. But it also is heating. So it is heating because it is antiviral and stops infections. It's good against the herpes virus. It's fantastic against HPV or human papillomavirus. It is fantastic against hand, foot, and mouth disease, but a great antiviral as well. So it has both of those. It has like what we would consider a heat quality because it takes the volatile oils, can kill infections, and just it is also good against molluscum. So the tincture topically can use for molluscum warts and be used internally. So that's many of the uses of lemon balm. Oh, and also the shingles virus and chicken pox. So that is some of the amazing uses of lemon balm, and I grow a lot of it because it's also just a great flavor, and it's a relaxant herb and calms down the nervous system and kind of brightens people up and makes them just a little happier. So maybe you're gonna want some of this semester as we are navigating online learning. So if we are thinking really hot, not maybe as hot as cayenne pepper, but if we're thinking really hot, we can think horseradish. And this is the crazy horseradish plant. And it can even grow in the shade. It can grow wherever you put it, basically. And it can also take over a garden. And this has a fiery, hot taste. And horseradish we use in fire cider. And the heat is what prevents illness, is that you just kill off any viruses or anything that's in the mouth when you drink it, so that you don't have to get sick from it. And the leaf is not as hot as a root. You can wait for it, It's hot, getting hotter, wait for it. But not as hot as a root. I would be sneezing right now had I eaten the root. So you can, it's almost like eating mustard greens. And so if you want a mustard green taste, you can eat the leaves of horseradish as well. But it's the root that we harvest and use in fire cider.